Welcome to The Grow Show, powered by Steel. On The Grow Show, we share ideas, tips, tactics, and insights to help you grow your landscaping business based on our team's 40 years of experience running a landscaping company and working with other owners and their teams to do the same. New episodes are released weekly on Wednesdays. Here's your host, Marty Grunder.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be. This is Marty Grunder from Grunder Landscaping Company and the Grow Group with another exciting edition of the Grow Show powered by Steel. I hope this episode finds you doing well. It is being released during us being at our fabulous annual event, Grow 2024 in Des Moines, Iowa. And today I thought that I would talk to you, since you're probably not in Des Moines and you didn't go to Grow, which I tell you is a big mistake not going to Grow. But I want to talk to you about this concept that I've shared with our team here at Grunder. I've shared it with our ACE peer groups that we do in partnership with McFarland Stanford. I've shared it even with my own kids. And it's this concept around, if you do nothing, nothing happens. Nothing happens, folks, if you do nothing. And I often say to someone, you know what happens when you do nothing? And almost always someone answers it correctly by saying nothing. But, you know, sometimes doing nothing is something that sneaks up on us. You mean to make progress, your intentions are good, but before you know it, a year's gone by, or maybe it's a month, or maybe it's a week, or whatever it is, it's gone by and nothing's changed. And we have certainly found here at the Grow Group that after 30 years of working with the owners and leaders of landscaping companies, doing nothing definitely is the number one barrier to a company's success. Every business has four pillars that they rest the success of their business on. And those four things are platform, people, process, and profits. That's the foundation of what we teach in the Grow Group. Platform, people, process, profits. You got to have each of those pillars in good order to be successful. So let's talk about each one real quick. Platform, that's your vision. Where you're, what your Super Bowl is, where you're going, your mission, what you're going to do on a daily basis to achieve that vision. And then the core values, the beliefs and the behaviors that are clearly defined. They're lived, eat, drank, slept, taken in on a daily basis. They go coincide with the company's operation. So we have vision, ideal state. We have mission, what we're going to do on a daily basis to achieve that vision. And then the core values, the beliefs and the behaviors that must be present in the organization to win. So that's the first pillar, platform. The second pillar is people. Succinctly said, a team and a strategy for investing in them. So we've got platform, people. Third pillar is process. Those are the systems that enable companies to replicate their successes. I often like to say systems enable ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Let me say that again. Systems enable ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Systems enable ordinary people to do extraordinary things. So we have platform, people, process, and then the fourth one, it's really pretty simple. The concept is, if you have a good platform, you know where you're going, what you're doing, you're rallied around that, you got a great team in place, people, you're operating with processes. Profits are a natural byproduct of doing the platform, the people, and the process well. Profits, plain and simple, are needed to grow. They're needed to give back to communities that support us and to invest and compensate in our team's family. At the end of the day, folks, the foundation for a successful company really is quite simple to understand. It's not hard, okay? Like what I just told you, the platform, the people, the process, and the profits, that's not that difficult to understand. The implementation of it can be very, very hard. And sometimes I think the implementation of it almost seems impossible. And for me, the greatest source of inspiration has always come from observing or visiting or reading about other successful companies. I've learned a ton from the almost 175 companies that we have in our ACE peer groups. I've learned a lot from other entrepreneurs who are doing great things in other industries. I found tons of ideas from a local grocery store here that I often talk about, Dorothy Lane Market, right in my hometown. An amazing company that in many ways has the same kind of labor in their stores that I have on my crew. So while they do something different than what Grunder Landscaping Company, Dorothy Lane Market has been a great thing for me to learn from. I, several years ago, toured the local UPS delivery facility. and their systems and their preciseness with their training and how they got people to wear the brown pants and the brown socks and the black shoes. Amazing. I got to see into the kitchen at one of my favorite restaurants near where I like to vacation in Florida. And quite frankly, I had never been back in an active kitchen where all these people were working together and how they were helping one another and the teamwork and the camaraderie and the fun they were having. Those are all different things, but I've taken away ideas on marketing, branding, systems, motivation, and all kinds of things from these places. They're literally, ladies and gentlemen, ideas everywhere. But I also have to say that the greatest success stories really truly come from people who spend time gathering ideas, and not, some people just gather ideas, they never implement them. And that's dangerous. So you can't just spend all your time gathering ideas. You got to be able to go and implement them. My good buddy, JT Price, runs the wildly successful company Landscape Workshop. You've probably heard about them. They're based in Birmingham, Alabama, and they operate in 20 cities with sales over $130 million. This is all in the last 10 years. They've gone from about, right when they started out to 130 million. Now they've done it through acquisitions and everything else. And while their business model is dramatically different from Grunder Landscaping's model, I have learned so much from the work and how they approach their work. It has made me question what I'm doing in a good way. I often leave my conversations with JT and the company CFO, Christiana Dennelsbach, who's a good buddy of mine. I often leave conversations with them wondering, well, why couldn't we do it that way? They really make me think, and it's a good thing. And I will say, I think the biggest thing I've learned from Christiana and JT at Landscape Workshop is the pace at which they go to grow a business. I thought we were going at a pretty good clip. We're not going anywhere near the clip they are. And so there's room for us to continue to go as we have our awesome company president, Seth Flum, has us so dialed in on growing, almost tripling the size of the business in the last 3 years with a lot on the way. And when I see someone like Landscape Workshop or these other businesses, it confirms that what I'm doing is the right thing. Another company that I'm really looking forward to learning from in 2024 is Sieberts Landscaping in Chicago, Illinois. An amazing company, $40+ million a year company. They've built a company model that centers on sustainability as part of their platform. And once again, I find myself saying, why couldn't I do it that way? What if we marketed some of the sustainable practices a little bit differently than what we're doing in our business? Could it become a reason new clients would choose to work with us? I don't know. They have beautiful yellow trucks that are really simple with their logo on the side. If you go to their website, they have a killer video that's right on the homepage that talks about what they're doing. It's what I'm getting at is, folks, when you just sit around and you get with others and you complain about the economy, or you complain about this, or you just don't do anything, or you procrastinate. Procrastination is the language of the poor, folks. We sit here, and if we would just do some things, if we would get going, it's amazing what we could do. And I think so often as landscape pros, we get so weighed down in the day-to-day that we truly accidentally end up putting off work we need to get better to grow the next level. We don't seek out touring other companies. We don't come to grow. We don't listen to the Grow Show. We listen to one episode and we say, man, that was really good what Marty had to offer. And then we don't listen to it again. We forget. We make a commitment that we're going to eat right, and then we don't eat right. Look, I've done all that stuff, okay? Again, I just want to get across to you that when you do nothing, what happens? Nothing. At a certain point, we got to really be intentional about what we're doing. And I think sometimes it just takes a little bit of inspiration to break through that barrier and get things going. And that's what I want to close out with. I mentioned to you the Landscape Workshop, and I mentioned to you Sieberts in Chicago. Those are two great companies that we've partnered up with NALP, the National Association of Landscape Professionals, to offer a field trip. So these field trips are going to be this year. The first one at Landscape Workshop is in Birmingham, Alabama, June 11th and 12th. You can come see JT and his operation. You can ask them how they've had this wild growth and what they're doing. And I don't care if you're a residential design build or you do lawn care. I'm telling you, you're going to learn something from their culture. You're going to learn something from the pace at which they do things. I'm really looking forward to sharing Landscape Workshop with you. And then September 17th and 18th, Chicago, Illinois, one of the greatest cities to visit in September in the United States. That is for sure. We're going to go to Sieberts Landscaping outside of Chicago. Beautiful facility. They have, I think, 7 branches, if I remember correctly, in the Chicago area. We're going to be at their main headquarters. These 2 field trips are going to be a great way. They're going to give you plenty of inspiration that will really keep you from doing nothing in 2024. So just a short podcast this week. We're in Des Moines, Iowa right now, rocking and rolling, growing with RJ Lawn and Landscape, Ryan and Annette. I'm so excited to hear the feedback from this event. And I hope in a small way today I helped you. But if you're one of those people and you honestly have to admit, I really haven't done anything. I've just kind of sat around. I'm coasting. Well, why don't you jumpstart yourself with something, all right? Why don't you jumpstart your personal health with some better eating habits and start with a walk and maybe look at a little workout program. Maybe it's time you put the phone down and got off social media and read a book. Maybe it's time you came to a Grunder landscaping field trip, or maybe it's time you signed up for both NALP field trips this summer. The first one in Birmingham, Alabama, and the second one in Chicago, Illinois. 2 good trips. You can write them off. You can have a lot of fun. And if you go to those, you certainly won't be doing nothing. All right. Have a great week, folks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Grow Show. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and head to growgroupinc.com for more information and resources to grow your landscaping business. A special thanks to the folks at Stihl, whose support makes this podcast possible and whose reliable handheld power equipment makes our jobs easier daily. We'll talk to you next week.